we're going to talk about just setting up a Pleur-evac with a chest tube. So this is exactly how your Pleur-evac is going to come out of the packaging. It's going to be just wrapped up, ready like this, ready for you to go. There are instructions inside the packaging telling you exactly how to get it set up, what you need to do. So if you forget, if you're in a hurry, taking it out of the package, you're going to have your saline back here. You're going to inject all of that into this little porthole at the top. It's going to fill down into your water chamber down here. Hooking up to the patient. So chest tube's going to go into your patient. You're going to hook this up. I always like to tape around this just to make sure that you're not going to get it dislodged or it's going to come apart. Suction wise, suction tubing is just going to hook in right here at the top, and this is going to go to your wall suction. Setting your wall suction, you can set it at just about anything you need to, because your suction to the patient is actually going to be regulated by this turn dial here. This is typically physician ordered. They'll let you know what they want the suction to be at. It's going to come out of the packaging set at -20. If you need to change it or make any, if they want something different, there is a turn dial here on the side, and it will adjust the suction here. So this chamber is going to be where your fluid, your blood, whatever is going to fill into. You'll use this as far as marking I's and O's. So at the end of your shift, or whenever you need to mark your I and O, whatever level your fluid's marked at, you're just going to draw a little line, date and time, initials, and then you get to account for everything below that. So as far as troubleshooting the chest tube, you always want to have some fluctuation of water there in the water seal chamber. I always like to make sure that connections are all good. You want to check the actual chest tube site, make sure your dressings are all intact. You don't have any air leaks around there. You don't have any dislodged tubing, like it came dislodged from here at the chest tube. If you have any kinked tubing, if you've got anything obstructing the tubing, good thing just to check. If you do have this come apart and you notice it, either if you can get it back in there really quickly, go ahead and do that. If not, I always like to keep a set of hemostats or clamps or something like that at the bedside, and you can just clamp this really quick until you either get a new Pleur-evac drainage system, or you're able to reconnect that back to the patient, just so you don't have a bunch of air just going into that pleural space. As far as where you put the chest tube, there are hooks on the top. You can hook it onto the side of the bed if you need to for transport or whatever. Or there is a kickstand at the bottom that will flip out. You always want to make sure that this drainage system always sits below the level of the patient, so it drains appropriately. If you do decide to put this on the ground, I always like to tape it just to make sure no one's going to walk in and kick it over, which obviously can cause a lot of issues going forward. So just a couple of tidbits there. I think that's kind of that in a nutshell.